One of these times it's gonna happen, eh? Instead of hitting the record button, I'm gonna hit the end stream button. It's gonna happen. Good evening, good evening, good evening. We've got 8:11 by our reckoning. So that means I am Ian. This is my lovely wife.
Rachel.
We are of Big Family Life in the Simpson Family Home and 4Fs with the Simpson family. The 4S representing faith, family, food, and fitness. Faith because we believe we can do all things through Him who loves us. Family because aside from God, there's nothing and no one more important on this earth. Food because food is medicine. And fitness because we believe overall wellness can be achieved by pursuing and maintaining a strong mind, soul, and body. Hence 4Fs to manifest your best life by grace under God. Good evening, good evening, good evening. God bless you. Thanks for stopping in. We appreciate you so much. God bless you. So this is Real Talk. I'm Ian. This is my lovely wife.
Rachel.
This is Real Talk, and the topic tonight is,
How does one get happy?
how does one get to happy? If happiness is a choice, and I mean, we touched on that yesterday, and we can all agree that, I think we can all agree, and if you disagree, please give us your opinion, and we'll talk about it. However, if happiness is a choice, how does one get to happy?
And I think every individual has their own path that they're on, and they all have what makes them happy.
Right.
Because what can make me happy would not make him happy, vice versa.
Possibly.
So, how do we get happy?
How does one get to happy?
I keep forgetting get to happy. I'm like, get happy.
How does one get to happy?
Yeah, I think, with everybody, like I said, on their individual path, it's like feeding your likes. What do you like to do? What do you want to do? Finding those passions and just feeding them, because everybody, for us, I stay home. Something that makes me happy. I play Minecraft. It's, a little bit of time to just unwind, whatever, or I watch a movie. I'm not very crafty. I try to be. That's a work in progress. However, I like watching craft videos.
Craft,
Yeah. So, yeah, it just depends on everybody's individual journey and what do you want to do.
Thank you. We received that. God bless you as well. Thank you. God bless you. Good evening. God bless you. Thank you for stopping in. And for me, I start here. I say that try to identify, for instance, lists are a big thing, right? Lists are a big thing, and they're very useful. They're very helpful. They're a very useful teaching tool, right? So if you like lists, make a list, and you say that, what are the things that makes me happy? Write that down. What makes me happy, baby? Cookies makes me happy. Cookies makes Dad happy, and Phoenix makes the most wonderful cookies. And that's a true statement. Cookies make me happy. My family makes me happy. Right? My family is not responsible for my happiness. However, they do make me happy. My God, right? So, I mean, if I identify that these are some of the things that make me happy, right? How am I feeding into that? So if I identify what makes me happy, then the next thing is to identify how I distribute my time. Where does my time go? Am I feeding into the things that make me happy, or am I caught up in the cycle of life, if you would? Work, responsibility, bills. That's the reality of our existence, is it not? That's fair, right? That's the reality of our existence, right? Responsibility, life, everything else. Right? So this is a recurring theme for us. I continually ask this question: what are we doing to feed into our own personal happiness? And that's a real question. Please sound off on that. I mean, for me, Phoenix bakes cookies quite a lot. So I eat the cookies that she bakes. Not every day, and I don't, all things in moderation. I spend a great deal of time with my family, and I spend as much time as I can being grateful to my God for our life, praising and worshiping our God, right? And these are the things that I do to feed into my own personal happiness. And you know, we have to, that's that self-care piece, baby, and I'm gonna let you speak on that, please.
Yeah, the self-care piece. And a lot of it has to do with you as an individual. Because with self-care, what I love is getting my nails done. Because it's just, I go by myself, I'm able to sit down, relax. I can either talk to the lady or the individual who is doing my nails and pedicures, or I can just sit there. I have that choice of just not, just being in the moment.
Yes.
But also, kind of not even having to, I guess I can disengage from a lot of stuff. And at that point, either go through whatever I need to go through because I'm by myself. And then when I come home, I'm refreshed. I'm not, hurried to do something or, being torn between, okay, well, somebody needs my help here or here. It's just time to unwind. So self-care, I think for you, yours is the gym.
And I tell her that all the time, but she doesn't really buy it because the gym is here. It's so interesting, baby. I was having this thought just the other day that, I never thought I would be that guy that would be content to work out at home.
I know.
I never thought.
I asked you that once.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I like going to the gym. I like the interactions with people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and now we're in a situation where, of course, what's the topic today? Hey Isaac, God bless you. God bless you. It's been a minute, right? Welcome back. Thanks for stopping in. The topic today is basically, hi baby. If happiness is a choice, how does one get to happy? How does one get to happy? Because the world is thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Love you. I'm so blessed, right? The world is, it's heavy, right? It can be, right? Responsibility, life, right? So, I mean, with the worldly worries, how does one get to happy? And I mean, and so what I've done here so far is to illustrate my point is to, I've made a list. These are some of the things that make me happy. I've got cookies, I've got family, and I've got God. Hey, Pop. God bless you. God bless you. Thanks for stopping in. So some of the things that make me happy are cookies, family, and God. So then once I've identified the things that cookies make me really happy. and our daughter Phoenix bakes the best chocolate chip cookies in the world, so that makes me really happy. Well, so that's an easy fix. I can feed into that, and the struggle there is to not feed into that too much. The struggle there is to not feed into those cookies too much. So once you're able now, and then my wife was speaking on the self-care piece, and once you're able to identify the things that make you happy, then it becomes very important to say that where do I distribute my time? And then life is such that responsibility is such, and work and bills have to be paid, and kids and however, where do you distribute your time, and how are you making time? How are you making time to feed into the things that make you happy?
I know. I was.
You want to take that, baby?
No, I totally agree with Isaac here. It's like.
Let me read what Isaac said first.
Thank you, because I can.
Isaac said, most people perceive happiness as money or material possessions, but true happiness is being content.
Yeah, and that's what I feel that today, today's society is all about what can you give me in return for whatever, or what can I go buy that's going to give that instant gratification. They think happiness is instant gratification. For us, happiness is something that you build on, and it has a lasting effect. Yeah. It's not I'm going to be happy tomorrow. No, it's going to be something that I'm going to build over time, and it's going to fill my cup more, because it's something that I may do by myself, or something that I may bring in the children or my husband to enjoy it with me. However, first and foremost, I always start with myself.
And let me back up a quick second here, guys, because Pop said time and energy with the family, and then conversation between Isaac and Pop. That's fantastic. Christopher, God bless you. Hello again. Thanks for stopping in. Beatles song, "You Can't Buy Me Love." Right? We've forgotten that. You can't buy me love. Right? And I'm happy to be here with you guys. I miss this blessed family. Isaac, God bless you. Welcome back. We missed you too. Let me just say this real quick, right? I mean, when you say that time and energy with the family, right? And I mean, that's where I'm at, right? Okay, so just this year, right, if you recall, Kanye West became the richest black man in wealthiest black person in America, right? Right? And as we are wont to do, black folk started wilding out. Like Black Panther came out, and I mean, we made that franchise rich, right? And my question was just quite simply, how did that help the black experience, right? I mean, but whatever, it's fine.
No.
So, no, hold on, baby. Let me finish this thought. I'll finish that thought. You know, and he says that, so Kanye being the wealthiest, and when I said that, okay, that's great. How is that benefiting black people in general, or black America, or, you know, the black experience? How does that benefit? How does a black man being the wealthiest, one of the wealthiest black man in America, and black people got really angry with me? And I was okay with it. But my point was just quite simply this: where's that energy for your dang self, or for your loved one, or for your kid graduated college? Where was that energy at your kid's graduation?
And that's
Your wife is taking night school. Where's that energy for that? But you want to celebrate people that you don't know, that don't know you, that don't know you exist, that don't give a dang about you, but you ain't got no energy for your own.
And that's where it is, because you're looking at Kanye as what is he doing for other people? It's not about other people. We got to look at what is he doing for himself.
And he's doing for himself.
He's getting divorced.
That's true.
He's getting divorced. So
there's
it's
a
like,
whole other issue.
So that's what I mean. Like he can't even focus on what's at home. How do you expect him to focus on the community?
And it's not condemnation or judgment of Kanye or anybody that's a fan of Kanye. I mean, whatever, it's fine. I don't really do rap music. I don't. But that's just my personal choice. It's not judgment or condemnation. It's just the idea that we have all this energy for individuals that we idolize, right? That don't know we exist. Where is that energy for our family and loved ones, the people that are there for us? Where's that? And like I said, your wife is taking night classes. Where's that energy celebrating her and what she trying to do? Your kids graduating from school, or they got good grades. Where's that energy celebrating your kids? You know what I mean? But we so caught up in thinking that, as you said, happiness is materialistic, that we miss the contentment of, you know, God gave us the ability to manifest our happiness right here. We always looking on the other side. The grass is greener on the other side. It's not. If we put that energy into just tending our own lawn, we can make our own lawn that paradise that we looking for. Happiness is a choice, baby. Go.
No, happiness
Get back
is
to
a choice.
some of these
and
comments.
So some of it is like, I get the point. Like, yeah, I seen a comment there that, you know, wealth has nothing to do with money. And
spiritual wealth.
And that's, you know, everybody gauges wealth differently. But it is that contentment. But there's also that trauma that could be unhealed, where they're unable to even see what is actually happiness. So this is a really, you know, an issue that kind of just goes in circles. It's those vicious cycles.
Yeah.
And I just feel that, you know, everybody's wealth is determined differently. However, you have people on social media that, you know, they post their big extravagant lifestyles, and we know deep down that they are pretty much sad. However, we do idolize them. But again, we don't. But it's like that instant.
That's the general statement.
That's
right?
it. That's that instant gratification, because you always want something that somebody else has.
We don't idolize in this home. We don't.
So it's really interesting
I want to be
how
clear. We're God people. We don't idolize.
So it's really interesting that, you know, we look to the people that are famous to oh well, they must be happy, so I'll get what they have. I'll be happy, but you don't even know what ends you go to gain that happiness.
Here's this comment here. Isaac said, "There's millionaires I've seen that are sad and they're so poor that all they have is money." Wow, that is such a profound statement, Isaac. God bless you. They are so poor. All they have is money. Wow. What a statement. Wow. I mean, that is, wow. Yeah, I felt that. They are so poor. All they have is money. I felt that. Well said. Well said. Jody, God bless you. Have you guys traveled to Cuba? No, I've
never had the opportunity.
No, me neither. No.
That is
Christopher says that
days.
money makes everything easy, but to have an overpowering sensation driven by God is the best wealth. Glory be to God. God bless you. We God people up in here. We God people. Everyone, really? Everyone in Cuba has money? I never heard that.
Has no money.
Has no money. Right, there it is.
I was like, what? And that's what it is, because they live within their means.
Right.
I feel that they live within their means. There's no comparing each other, to one another. And it's just that lifestyle of just accepting of who they are.
Yes.
And accepting of culture and not having to accept Western ideology.
Jody said the happiest people she's ever seen, and they have no money. Isn't that interesting?
No, I read that.
King say, yeah, we did work out today, King. May I suggest this? Regard third world children. Regard third world children. Are they not some of the happiest faces that you've ever seen, will ever? Even in all their poverty, they have the ability to be happy. To me, that is so interesting. It's so interesting. And then if you regard civilizations or civilizations that we might consider to be primitive, right? They have no actual. They work off a barter system.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm gonna give you a kiss. Come back. However, they are quite happy.
And that's what we see with our kids. And I want to go back to, we were talking about time and energy and that, especially with our family. With children, they don't want you to buy them things. Like, yeah, you could get them a game, but how long are they actually going to be happy with that game? We find that the more time that we actually spend and do activities with them or making of memories, whatever that may be, those memories cannot be, don't have a price tag on them. Because they just want you there, involved in their life.
That's right.
Even if it's just for us sitting down at supper is like the highlight of the day. Everybody's actually involved in preparing, somewhat preparing of the meal. You have your helpers. And then when it comes time to sit down, they're all there helping. It's not like we have to go, can you guys do this? They all just jump up and know what they have to do.
Well, it's a system that we implemented and we work at it.
Yeah, but they find that joy in there because they're a part of something. They're a part of creating these memories. So sometimes our conversations at supper is something that could be either really deep. Oh, okay. Well, I was going deep, and then it could be light and funny and
deep. Yeah. Either
yeah.
way,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, don't pick at me. We trying to reclaim that. Don't be picking at that. picking at one of our projects over there. We're trying to reclaim one of those plants, and he's picking at it. You can have $1 million. Christopher says you can have $1 million or $2 million or $2. That's not what wealth is. I mean, that's so interesting. Thank you, Christopher. God bless you. Because I once heard, I think it was Hasim Rockman. He said one of the greatest tricks that the devil ever played on us was to convince us. And he held up a note. It was a monetary note. I don't know if it was a $5 bill or $100 bill. It didn't matter. It's irrelevant. He said one of the greatest tricks he ever played was that he convinced us, he tricked us that this has value. Money has value. The only value money has is that what we attributed to it, right? So yeah, that's not real wealth. God bless you. Christopher also said, I've been struggling with blood clots in my leg and has brought me closer to God than I have ever been. Don't Christopher, may I ask you, don't we know God when we in the struggle, when we in the fire, when we in the pit, when we are faced with our own mortality? Don't we know God? Don't we know God? Don't we know God when it's so interesting, because sometimes my own personal live life experience, when times are good, man, when I'm flying high, you know, that's all me. But as soon as, you know, you say pride often precipitates the fall, and as soon as you hit that, oh, don't I get close to God? My live life experience. And the thing is, it don't matter. Just come to him. He's always there waiting. We sometimes feel bad though, don't we, that we only pray when we want something and when we need something, or we only come to him when we in trouble. But what good father is going to turn away a child in need when they're in trouble? What good father is going to do that? And he is a good father indeed.
Pop says, good times and the bad times, God is there always.
Always. Yeah, we God people. And I love, you see? Good night. And this is what I do to feed into my happiness in the Simpson family. I surround myself with God people.
Yeah.
It's not really all that complicated. I'm not a genius or nothing. I mean, I choose to be happy, so I choose to feed into the things that make me happy. How do you get to happy? Well, I would say the first thing is God bless you, Christopher. Your prayers for those blood clots that you know, God will be done. You know, prayers for that, and you know, prayers and encouragement to you, brother. God bless you, and keep doing the things that you need to do to monitor your health to ensure that you know, you're here with us. Right? And I think that, you know, how does one get to happy? Well, the first thing is to identify, and that might seem a simple thing. However, no, that's pretty important. Let's identify what makes us happy. Let's first, how does one get to happy? Well, first, let's identify what makes me happy. That's got to be the first step. And that question is maybe not as easy as you might think. What makes you happy? Right here, right now. What makes you happy? Yes, baby.
Do we tell Phoenix to put on that heater thing? That big onion?
The what?
The big onion.
The heater?
No,
you want an onion?
No, it's
The snake plant?
No, the thing I bought them, the air humidifier. It looks like an egg.
Oh.
The diffuser. Essential oil diffuser.
Oh, okay,
you want
the humidifier.
They had bloody nose 2 days.
Okay, all right. Well, that's a good idea.
Can you put on the onion thing for her?
Put up the onion. You want an onion? No, sometimes I'll cut an onion and put it in their room to just take some of the toxins out of the air, and we got some snake plants to do that now. And we're working on it. Yeah, an onion will do that. An onion will do that.
It is.
Yeah, cut a raw onion in half and just sit it in a room, and an onion will draw naturally. It just draws the toxins in the environment naturally into itself. A former therapist, Jody says, yes, baby.
The raw honey.
Huh? Now you want an onion too?
No, she wants raw honey now.
You want honey? Yeah, go get it. Go get a tablespoon. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, go get some. We got some honey from the farm the other day. So yeah, whenever we get some in, I let them just eat a tablespoon. That's what we used to do when I was a kid back home. I mean, that's in a third world living, right? That's good for you. I don't know why did that change? Did that change? I don't know. Jody says, a former therapist asked me, what brings you joy? You're correct, Ian. It is a hard question to answer. I mean, anyone, please sound off. What brings you, if not joy, happiness? What makes you smile? What brings a smile to your face? I mean, the question is, the topic is how does, if happiness is a choice, how does one get to happiness? Well, let's identify first of all what makes you happy. Then on my list, let me give you my list. Cookies. Cookies make me happy. That is the first thing on my list. Cookies, family, God. Not in any particular order. but cookies make the cut.
I love Jody's answer. Vacuuming.
Vacuuming makes you happy.
You
Okay,
know what's
Jody,
so
what are you
funny?
doing to feed into your happiness? I can see you there all day, every day.
And for me, like when I start vacuuming, like I use that as a form of therapy for myself. And everybody kind of looks at me like, "What's wrong with mom?"
Yeah,
because they're
yeah,
like, something's
because
going on with mom.
Mom's
Just-
working through something because mom's cleaning. We know mom's working through something because mom's working overtime. The walls get clean, you know,
Yeah.
like everything gets cleaned, and it's like, and I'm just standing there with the kids, and we just like. Every once in a while, we'd be like,
Is she okay?
"Mom," she'd be like, "We good?" She'd be like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Why? Well, you've been cleaning for the last 6 hours. Yeah. And it's 2:00 in the morning. We good? I'm fine. So we let her alone. The house gets real clean. Let me deal with a couple comments. Oh, good evening, Gravity again, Debbie. God bless you. Let me deal with a couple comments here. Things that make us happy. I have to. Yes, excellent. Yes, here. I have to admit, I was having doubt about my relationship with God, and then, bam, he was there, Mr. Christopher McGuire. Funny how that works, isn't it? God bless you. God bless you. Pop says waking up in the morning makes him happy. Waking up in the morning makes me exceedingly happy.
Yeah, I always say I don't want to wake up dead.
Right?
It's true though.
Isaac says helping the needy and seeing them smile makes me happy. God bless you, Isaac. Yes, God bless you. And Pop said he agrees with Isaac again. And Pop asked, not cupcakes? No, not cupcakes. Cookies. Not a cupcake guy. Cookies. Cookies. And I'm caught up. God bless you. Thank you.
I think so.
And
I think so. Okay.
no.
Nope.
I'd just like to say I'd love to have you as a minister. God bless you. God bless you. I mean, you know, we are the church. This is fellowship. The word says where two or more are gathered in his name, he's certainly here in our presence. We are the church. This is fellowship. I don't appoint myself leader. All we do is provide a platform for us to have a
You
conversation.
had enough, Kelly. Stop.
This is for justice.
Okay. Is that the same spoon?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, and what makes me happy, and it's funny because
What makes you sad?
No, what makes
Yeah,
me
yeah,
happy?
first.
Huh?
Yeah, what makes you happy?
So for me, it's like food. And it's funny because
True
like if
story.
I'm like really, and I actually do a little dance as I'm eating.
She does.
And then he sees me, and then
And
he
then I start to do a little bit. Nailed it.
Yeah.
She doing her dance. I'm happy because I know I nailed it because she's doing her happy dance.
Yeah.
Her
And
happy
then
food
Carla
dance.
here says dancing to good tunes makes me happy.
Yes, dancing makes me. Yes.
Dancing, yeah. I think it makes everybody here at home is
At
happy
home,
as
yeah.
well.
We're dancers.
Because we're dancers. Like I was just dancing with Justice in the kitchen earlier.
Mm-hmm. And Jody says, yes, it's cathartic. Love that. Please help me with that word, and let's define that word together. I think I have an understanding of what it means. However, I love words, and if I'm unsure, I would be remiss to not ask. So help us define that together, please.
Tapping. No, we were dancing to 90s music.
I know you just have a great way of getting people to see. I just graduated college finally after years of school struggle, and that made me so happy. Isaac, receive this.
You've set a goal, you've completed it, and that's the greatest joy that can happen. On to the next venture.
No. And key here is set another goal. Set another goal. You know, if you stop setting goals, set another goal.
Carla's like Beyonce.
Beyonce.
It was funny though, because when I was playing Minecraft earlier, and we had music playing on the Xbox, and Beyonce was playing. It was on the playlist, and Ryder was actually, I think it was Love on Top, and he was singing Love on. Sorry, Ryder. But yeah, he knows the words, and so it was that brought me joy and happiness because I kind of brought them up on Beyonce.
Yes, that's what yes, thank you, Jody. That's exactly what I needed. I was yes, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. And so now I am. Thank you. God bless.
Like Beyonce is playing right now.
Music is soothing to the soul. Good night, son.
Yeah.
Love you. Music. Next goal is to find a faithful Christian lady for marriage. God bless you, and as long as God is in it, prepare yourself for the victory.
I love that. It's like
Prepare yourself for the victory.
I feel that
God bless Harneal. Thanks for stopping in. Grandma Debbie, God bless. Thank you.
I feel that, you know, it's like that goal. It'll happen when you're not expecting it. I know a lot of people think like, oh no, whatever. But for us, it happened when we weren't even looking for.
So cliche, babe.
I know, however,
Wow.
it's true.
It's true. So true. So true. The idea that you find a meaningful relationship when you're not looking for a relationship. Right? And that was the last thing that I was looking for when I met her. I wasn't at all, good night, sweetheart, interested in a relationship. Love you, because I was working on my relationship with God.
Look at, and this guy's like, feed your wife while she's.
Chris,
Yeah,
as soon as
when
3
asked.
words in, I knew go.
No, feed your wife when asked, is the true path to
To happiness, yeah.
But you
Happy
know,
wife,
and that's
happy
when-
life.
And
Facts,
that
Chris.
is true, because I do actually get hangry.
Yeah.
And he makes sure that I'm eating.
Yeah,
And
gotta
if
make
he, yeah, and if he wants me to leave the house, I'm like, is there food involved? And he's like, okay, I'll stop.
Roll, she roll and die. She's my roll. I mean, my number. I mean, as my road dog, my homie. She's my right hand. Whatever, whenever, wherever, long as I feed her along the way.
Yeah. Because he'll like, if we go get groceries, because I won't go in the store.
As long as I
And
feed her
so
along the
he'll
way.
buy me, he'll pick up food for me, and I'll sit in the vehicle and I'll eat until he comes out.
Yeah, she's
yeah.
best friend. Yeah, God, and then her. Yeah.
I like with Carla, when babies laugh, that's the best sound in the whole world.
Yes.
It is. And their smell, oh.
Even baby poop is
Yeah.
very distinctive from any other kind of poop. You know, the liquidy green stuff? Why are you even still up here? Go to bed. It says, Jody says, I admire you guys bond so much, but I am happy, so happy being single. And that is so important.
It's very important.
Just, you know, love the space you're in.
How will I know she's the one? I don't want to accept just anyone, because I'm eagerly waiting, wanting to marry.
And yeah,
Yes.
hey, Pop got him. You will know when the time is right. Yeah, you'll know. Keep God in it. Don't ask me. What you asking me for? Okay. Glad we. Give me a second here. Glad we had this conversation.
Wait.
What?
Jody.
Isaac.
Isaac. Yeah.
Here's the importance of. That's a wonderful question. How do you? And that's fair. How do you know if she's the one?
Ooh, it's like try to avoid lust.
What is that teaching from when that grandmotherly teaching? If he makes you feel that this you remember? Don't you recall?
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't. I'd have to really think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to.
He
think
says
about
it's
it.
something to the effect. Let me paraphrase. It's a teaching, and let me paraphrase. If this individual makes you burn like fire with passion and you know, emotion and just, you know, raging fire, that's not the one. If they make you feel safe, I thought that was an interesting take on it. And I only said this, I only stopped the conversation to say this. The only person you need to ask that question is God. Don't ask me. I mean, what the heck do I know? I got lucky. I didn't get lucky. I petitioned for years and years. I petitioned, and I was faithful. And I petitioned, and I was faithful, and God in return.
Oh, I
was faithful.
like that. Jody said, Isaac, know your potential partner for at least 4 seasons before you commit.
That's fair.
That's a really a really interesting way of looking at that.
Carla says she ain't rushing nothing, but she's having the grandmama blues.
When I want to be a
And she wants to be a cuckoo.
look what Chris, not Chris. I think it was Chris.
And Pop said, God knows. Yep. Pop said, you will know when the time is right, Isaac. God knows. And Isaac says, haha, I'm asking you because you're a good Christian man, and I'll take your advice any day. God bless you, Isaac. God bless you. We appreciate you so much. Ask God. One time I forgot to, Chris said one time, talking about his wife, one time I forgot to feed her, and I had to replace the whole front room. Women are dangerous. God Almighty, He is worthy to be praised. Absolutely, Pop. He is worthy to be praised. Amen, amen, and amen. Where are we now?
No, and I want to go back
Why
to
are
the
you
baby
still up, Blue?
because she's talking.
Good night,
outside.
my dove.
Is that
Look at what time it
babies?
is.
It's actually a thing for me. Like if I think we were talking to one of his friends today, or we were talking. He was talking to one of his friends. He was FaceTiming and.
No, we were talking.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden I heard his baby and I'm like, ooh, where's the baby?
Baby
and
alert.
baby alert. Like I just, yeah. Babies are my soft spot.
She's a baby whisperer. She really is.
And I could, yeah.
She had a dream that she dreamed. What did you dream, baby? Of two what? You dreamed.
Oh, I dreamt I had twins.
And then what happened?
And then I found out both my cousins were expecting.
Yeah, she's. And can you please share with us your name again, please? Your spirit, can you please?
Is a brown thunderbird woman bringing good things.
Brown Thunderbird woman bringing good things.
And good things is children.
Children. So she is absolutely a baby whisperer.
Yeah.
That name was given to you by whom?
An elder from Saskatchewan.
So yeah, spirituality is runs deep in the Simpson family home, and where we try to be.
Did you see Grandma Debbie?
Oh, Grandma Debbie says I'm still waiting. LOL. All the good ones are taken. Not true, Grandma Debbie. Not true. All in God's time. All in God's time.
Yeah. No, it's just I love how our conversation goes because it's like how can one get to happy and it's like your life partner, children, grandchildren, food.
And these are all things that make us happy. So then the next question becomes this: what are we doing to feed into our happiness? Carla, you said a lot. You love dancing. You can't go out anymore to dance. So what are you doing to feed into your happiness? Are you dancing in your living room? And if not, why not? And okay, Jody, I guess you're still backing off the storm. God bless you. Chris says, I have a question. How are you guys doing in general? I'm blessed and highly favored.
Very.
Yeah.
Because I had finished school, when was it? Last month? Sorry, I'm thinking and I'm squinting at him at the same time. I finished school in mid-April. So exams, everything was done. And so I've been kind of just applying for part-time or whatever work, for the summer until school starts up in September.
Right.
And I wasn't even really stressing about it. I'm like, oh, if something comes, it'll come. So I have something potentially lined up and, through, we'll see where that goes. And I'm just, I'm super excited. So with
Don't
that,
dance, please.
with that, I'm just,
Don't hit her. Don't hit her.
so with
So
that,
sorry.
I guess I'm fine. I'm fine now. I just still avoid people outside of the home. But yeah, I like walking. Walking and cleaning.
You said that
What is-
I was taken hostage by my wife. Long live the queen. And what is PSW? Dancing in my PJs to the hip hop R&B tunes of the 80s and 90s. That sounds invigorating. That sounds just, dancing in the PJs, that does it for me too. Absolutely. Isaac said congratulations, we finished school around the same time. Babe.
I have to go back though. I have 2 more years. Hopefully 2 more years, and then, however.
I don't see her being done at 2. I see her, for whatever reason. There's some individuals that just are really good and do well at and you know, the more education you get, the more doors open up, right? And some individuals just do well in that environment, and you know, are really good students. And she's a really terrific student. I mean, honor roll student, as a matter of fact.
Personal support worker, like a nurse. She works through.
Okay, copy that, Chris. Copy. PSW, personal support worker. Copy that. I really admire those individuals. I do. It takes a special type of individual to do any kind of work that requires taking care of other people. Right? I think that's admirable, and God bless her. God bless her. Yeah. Jody said, Rachel is precious. She absolutely is.
Is it precocious or precious?
I don't know. No, that's precocious.
Precocious.
It is precocious. Yeah,
Okay.
you're right. But she's still
Thank you.
precious.
Thank you, Jody.
It's greatest when she's gone all day. Stop it, Chris. Stop it.
It's funny because we're best friends, and
Yeah.
we don't really get tired of each other or annoyed very
Weird.
much.
Really
it's
weird.
like-
Really weird.
When the world was open and I would go shopping with the girls, okay, well, it's time to go home now, and then it became a joke. It's like mom can't even leave home because she wants to be home with dad. Because
Really weird. Really weird. I just have, I could spend, and the funny thing is when we were dating, like, I mean, immediately, like, I identified, like, that she was cool, because I remember one evening we're sitting in the basement and watching TV, and I realized that, see, I'm the kind of person that I just need to be around you. I don't really need to talk to you, or I certainly don't want to feel like I have to babysit you and entertain you. I just need to be around you. If I can just be close to you and feel close to you, and in conversation, I'm not against it. You know what I mean? If conversation is there, we call it, I guess, companionable silence.
yeah.
That is a rare thing, to be with somebody in silence and it be comfortable, right? And it's not awkward, you know. And we had that from jump, you know. And that's so important to me, because I'm just I'm a different dude. And sometimes I'll talk your ear off, and sometimes I just want to sit and look at you, or just sit beside you. And
Sorry. Yeah, no, but Chris is stepping out, so I wanted to be able for you to say see you later to Chris.
hey, God bless, Chris. Thanks, man. We appreciate you so much. God bless you for stopping
The
in.
door.
You're always a blessing. Your presence is always a blessing, and we appreciate you so much.
I don't think that was.
No, you don't need to. I mean, like this. However, to let it slam. Jody says.
Okay, pressing question, because I'm a curious Gemini.
Curious.
How long did you guys date? When did you get married? Don't answer if that's an embarrassing question.
Jody, how could you? I thought we were friends. I feel so violated.
And I'm just gonna answer. We met in actually May 21st of 2017.
Correct.
We met.
At the powwow, Manitowabi. Oh my goodness.
Mercedes.
Okay, you certainly are not Bentley.
Puppy almost pulled everything. So yeah, we met in 2017. We were engaged August 2018.
Correct, 2018.
And then we were married September 2019.
2019.
And we're in 2021 now.
2021, so it's been like a whirlwind, like, you know? You see, the funny thing was this. You know, I thought that, you know, I was in this relationship, right? for like 25 years. And that's essentially, no, not essentially, it's exactly half my life. I'm gonna be 50 this summer. I was in this relationship for exactly half my life. And it wasn't a healthy, oh, I was just kidding with you, Jody. She says respectful always. No, I was just kidding with you. And it wasn't what you would call a healthy relationship. Isaac, give me a quick second here. Yeah, God bless you. It wasn't a healthy relationship. And the funny thing was that I reached a point that it was always that, you know, I can't wait to be single, da da da, this and that, and right? And then I was single, and I found something out about myself, something very interesting about myself. Being single, I think, is a young person's game. I don't know how to be. I don't care for. I'm not very good at dating. It's awkward. It's uncomfortable. I'm not very good at it. You know, I see myself as being like, you know, like let's say like Eddie Murphy in what was that movie that he did with what's her name, Robin Givens. He was a real ladies' man, you know, smooth and, you know, debonair and suave, you know. But in reality, I'm more like the guys from Dumb and Dumber. You know? I mean, it's not fun for me, that whole dating thing. And so when we met, as we said, I wasn't in a place that I was looking for a relationship at all. And as a result, I was, and it's so cliche to say that when you're not looking for a relationship, you stumble upon the most meaningful. Mm-hmm. However, that's exactly what happened. I was so committed to healing myself that I was finally worthy of someone like her, and then it happened. Isaac asks, sorry, off-topic question. Do you guys think life will go back to normal like before COVID? Not off-topic, and don't ever be sorry. It's an open conversations, and conversations do what they do. They go where they tend to go.
I really don't know. I really don't know what's going to actually occur. And I like how you always said that before, is like normal before was not working for everybody.
Right. Yeah.
It's just that where we are right now, I just feel like there's so much divide. And going forward, I would not like that divide to continue.
Right.
I feel that we as individuals need to work on ourselves in this time, because we're somewhat isolated, somewhat, it's just to work on ourselves, so that what can I do to, you know, create unity and be an equalist than somebody that divides and
unity
creates, you know, conflictual relationships.
Right. And and just to piggyback off what I totally agree. I don't like the word so much, and this is personal choice, no judgment or condemnation. I try not to use the N-word. I try not. Did I actually say that? I didn't even realize that. Yeah, no. I try not to use normal, because
average.
What is normal, right? What is normal? And at the end of the day, normal wasn't working. #equalist. Normal wasn't working for everybody. So I would say this. I think that we have an opportunity to do better. We have an opportunity. In answer to your question, absolutely. Humanity will go on. Life finds a way. Absolutely. This is when you look at the entirety of time. This is just a speck. This is just, you know what I mean. We'll get past this. We got past a great many similar circumstances, that were unique in and of themselves in our history. Humanity will go on. What does it look like after this point? That I can't tell you. However, I do believe that we will get past CV, and we have a chance to be better. That's what's encouraging to me. We have a chance to do better than we did pre-CV, post-CV, and to me that's exciting and that's encouraging.
Jody.
How did we meet?
We met at a powwow here in Winnipeg. I went to the powwow with my cousin. The kids were
What was the setup?
Yeah, the kids were away that weekend, so I was with my, you know, just kind of just immersing myself in culture and, you know, visiting with my cousin and so then I met his brother,
Right.
who he's friends with my cousin, so
Right.
they had an existing relationship
Right.
that, so I kind of became, you know, got to know Leroy, whatever.
Met my brother before she met me.
Yeah, and
Funny,
then
my brother came from Toronto to my hometown to introduce me to my future wife.
and
Providence. When God is in it.
so I was at the Powell, he was at church with his brother, and his brother brought him back to the Powell
Correct.
to, I don't know, I think it was all planned.
Yeah,
Now
it was
that I
all
think
planned.
It was all planned.
Yeah, it was all planned.
And so, yeah, we met that way, we were introduced and, you know, conversation,
And I wasn't
pretty
having
quick.
none of it. I wasn't.
Yeah,
I was like, hey,
Yeah.
how you doing? Nice to meet you. I'd never been to a powwow before.
Yeah, so
it was the
you-
first for me, so I was like, psh, gone. I was like drums and you know what I mean? I had a blast taking pictures of people like, oh, it was fantastic. The colors, the regalia, everything. It was a fantastic experience for me. So yeah. And then finally we came and I found them, sat down, and you know, sitting down, drums and the singing and the chanting and such and
chanting, no, I don't like that word.
sorry,
chanting.
the singing,
Yeah.
and the drums, and then I get my phone beeps, and I get a text, and it's my brother, and the text says, "Hey man, I think she likes you," and I'm like, "Who?" He's like, "Rachel, she's sitting right beside you. I think she likes you," and I'm like, "And?" No, bear with me, guys. I wasn't being stuck up or anything, but let's look at what I had to offer. I had just gotten out of jail. I was in rehab. I was on parole. I was living at the Salvation Army in the program there, right? I was on parole in the building, and I was in the rehab program for addiction inside the building as well. So I mean, as I said, I was completely committed to working on me and getting back to my kids and being the best dad I could be, and you know, salvaging what was left of my life or what was left of a broken life, you know, making that next step to taking on the rest of my life. And no idea that I was meeting, no interest whatsoever. And however, when God's in it, we went for coffee and we talked. In the first 3 dates, we talked. We talked.
And talked.
We talked. We talked. We talked.
And guess what? We're still talking.
And we're still talking. We still find stuff to talk about. Isn't that amazing? We still find stuff to talk about. Like we talk. We talk. I mean, I love talking to her. I love bringing stuff to her and using her as a sounding board. And we don't always agree either.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. I mean, how boring would it be if you agreed on everything? Like, come on now, let's be realistic. That might be fun. I mean, we might think that we want that out of life. We do. We might think that we want absolute power and everything else, and we want to be in, you know. Thank you. God bless you, Jody. It is a fantastic love story. We might think that. However, me being me, because I'm a curious guy by nature, that would be fun for all of 2 minutes, and then it would be like, okay, yeah, I'm done with this. I'm done with being right all the time. Where's the challenge? I need someone to challenge my conviction of belief so that we can have intellectual conversation. Did you guys hear what I just said? I really enjoy stimulating conversation. I really do. And she stimulates me like no one else. I guess everything happens for a reason. Facts. God has brought many families together during COVID. And that's what happens when you put God first in your life. You begin to see blessings instead. You see opportunities instead of obstacles. And you see the blessings more readily in the lessons. And that is the biggest blessing in this entire, what are we, a year and so long deep now? In this lockdown and COVID and everything, we're over a year. And that has been the blessing inside this lesson. It has brought families together. Now, some families has viewed that as an obstacle. It has really torn a lot of families apart having to spend that much time together, right? It's a true story, and I won't deny that. It's a true story. I mean, and everybody's on their own journey. as you
No,
would
and
say,
I
right?
think that also that fear has also created division. When people don't let fear override, because I'm a very fearful person. I am. However, we all have that little bit of fear in us, and so when that fear is just so big, you know, we kind of just push people away
Yeah.
to keep ourselves safe. However,
And what about this? What about this? What happens when you have in the same home, and you can't tell me that this isn't happening right now? What happens when you have in the same home two individuals that are on separate sides of the same argument? How do you know what I mean? And these are the real world challenges. Modern problems require modern solutions. I don't have any answers. However, we need to start having some uncomfortable conversations so that we can start finding resolution.
I think that was what's his name when we were talking today. He was like, your wife is playing devil's advocate, and I think I play that quite a bit in situations and anything that
That's valuable
we
to me.
discuss, because it's I like to look at different different narratives, different perspectives, and not just go full on with one. I like to gather my information
Right.
before I make a decision.
I
So-
think there's lots of benefit there.
Yeah, so with whatever's going on, I always like to play devil's advocate and look at the positives or the negatives and
Just the other
the gray
side.
area.
Just the other side of the narrative, whatever. That's why I love to use her as a sounding board, because I mean, she gives me, and she better prepares me to really get to where I need to be if I'm presenting something. She enables me to see something that I didn't initially see, because she's looking at it from the other angle. She's looking at it from a more. I mean, it's always beneficial to have a second set of eyes, right? I mean, and a second opinion, and just a, and the thing is that the best thing about it is just that, because I know she's got my back, then I know that, it's like my relationship with God, right? I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you, right? The same trust I have for God is the same trust that I have for her. So that, I mean, I would say, how do you get to happy? Make better choices. That's part of it too, right? Make better choices. If we identify the things that make us happy and we're feeding into those things, right? One of the questions asked was, what are the things that make me sad? A great many things in this world make me sad. However, I've learned to compartmentalize my life. And I think that to a certain extent, I've become too good at compartmentalizing my life, because I cut people off, and it concerns her, because I cut people off a lot more readily than I did before COVID. And that's the negative that came out of COVID. I cut people off a lot more readily now, because I'm in a place where if, not so much even fool me once, shame on, not even so much that. Just quite simply, if you show me who you are, I choose to believe you. And every friend, please hear this, let me say, every friend is a potential enemy with better position and better ammunition, right? So if you identify yourself as being a threat to my family, as just the overall safety, to the well-being, even just to the happiness of my family, I choose to be happy. I mean, of late, what have we been doing? We've been stockpiling plants. What do we do to feed into our happiness?
Yeah.
What are your next happy goals? That these plants that we've been stockpiling, for instance, this what are these called?
Which one? Oh, birds of paradise.
Birds of paradise. My next goal is that they will bloom. We're spending a lot of time. The garden, we've been buying a lot of plants, and that's one of the things
one
that
of
we.
your goals. But I think the other
The
goals
Venus
is that
flytrap. There's a goal to get that to eat more flies. We need more
Yeah.
flies so that guy can. We got a couple fly traps now.
and I think it's more other stuff too, is like what do we see for us as going forward, and that's one of the things that I really my goal is to be employed and then finish school. However, on the family front, what the family does, I want to get working on the cookbook. Like I can help with it, but I'm not the cook, so that's where he steps in. So that's where and he has other stuff. So we have a lot of things. It's
So
just,
much things to get done.
but we're enjoying life.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that is
Every day I get up and spend time with the kid, my best friends. All day I spend time with my best friends, and I get to put it out to the rest of the world. And I mean, that's just so rewarding and fulfilling. It's right now. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's really tough to get me motivated to do much more than what I'm doing right now, because what I really believe that the work that I'm doing is important. I mean, I'm pouring into our kids. We're pouring into our kids, and it's really tough to get me motivated to want to do anything else right now. Yeah. It's important work. It's really important work. And I mean, another thing that makes me happy is the sessions that we have with our therapist. We have weekly sessions with our therapist. And that's something that, what are you doing to feed into your happiness? That's one of the things that we do to feed into our happiness. Because one of the things that we spoke about in today's session was that it's so interesting that as we're going along on our journey of growth, and we're trying to be better individuals so we can better serve our God, better serve ourselves, each other, better serve our children and our community, right? And it's so interesting to objectively watch this happen and notice that, you know, as we're becoming better people, we're enabling our children. We're able to pass on better lessons to our children and just really attack those generational curses and just identify the deficiencies in not only the children's character, but in my character. Because I thought I was fine. I really did. No, we went into therapy a year ago, and I know, because like I did the work in jail and, you know, probation and parole, and I went through rehab, I went through AA, and I mean, I did the work. I put in some real work, you know what I mean? And I thought I was in a really great place as a human being, that I was just a really decent human being, and at least I was trying to be a good person. And then we got into therapy. And then initially when we were into therapy, we were really focused on her stuff.
Yeah, and that was an interesting journey because, and that, well, I'll go back to that autopilot, right? Like I was in like that autopilot survival mode for how many years? And, you know, even leading up, I think it was about 2018, like I was actually getting physically sick, and I was like, well, what is going on? Like I was breaking out in hives, I was like basically full on panic attacks, and then I got that diagnosis, went and seen a psychiatrist, everything, and started putting that all together and dealing with, you know, my past stuff. Like it was there, but not actually addressing it. So it was like, okay, it was getting answers for what I was going through, like with the fear, the anxiety, and, you know, like I couldn't even leave the house in the morning. It took me like 2 hours to leave to feel comfortable. And so it was just a lot of things. And then we go into therapy, and we're kind of seeing more and more, and then my poor husband was like, something's wrong with my wife, and he was like trying to explain to the therapist, like, I'm seeing this, and I'm like, this is not,
it's not her,
and then so and so I was finding out it was dissociative anxiety. Like I was actually because of my trauma, I was going on, so that is actually, like, within this year, I was able to actually stabilize and just get those answers and do the work, because I just hadn't, you know, I was just so tired of living in fear.
You have a question here, sweetheart, if you could answer that very quickly. What's your name, princess?
Oh, my name is Rachel.
And then Jody over here said compartmentalizing is an important and healthy boundary. And where I learned that was when I was in at Salvation Army, and I picked the Salvation Army for my parole and rehab because they were faith-based, right? And that was important to me. And so when my counselor, I had 2 counselors. Shar, she's fantastic.
Oh, I met her. I loved her.
Right, and she's very much a person of faith. She's a Christian and everything else. And then there's Victor, and Victor was my counselor, and I learned rather quickly that Victor was an atheist. And I says to Shar, well, this is not going to work. I says, well, this is not, because I just couldn't reconcile how. And then the thing is that I had such great respect for Victor because he's absolutely brilliant. He's absolutely, like, I mean, he's brilliant. He's one of the most you know what, the thing that convinced me of his brilliance is quite simply this. I asked him one day, I asked him a question inside a meeting, inside a group session, and there were a number of us in there. And I asked him quite simply, I says that, and I mean, he studies the brain, that's his thing. He can draw the brain and map the brain, whatever, that's his thing. He's brilliant. However, I asked him one day, I asked him something, and he thought about it for half a second, and he looked at me, and he said, I don't know. And he was perfectly okay with that. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? He's like, I know, I don't know. And the fact that he was because this guy is by far probably one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. And he was just so okay with being able to say that, actually, no, I actually don't know that. Mm-hmm. It's okay. And we live in a world where, you know, it's considered appropriate to fake it in that situation, just fake it till you make it. I mean, it's a thing, right? And I was just blown away by that. And so it was hard for me to reconcile how somebody who was so intelligent in that regard, you know, was an atheist. But that's just my conviction of belief. It's not to say that he's an idiot or anything like that. I'm a God person. And Shar told me quite simply, compartmentalize. Take what he has to offer and leave his personal beliefs out of the equation. And he had a great deal to offer. For instance, if you've heard me use this, and if you've seen us, if you've been with us in the past, you've heard me say, my right to swing my arms ends at your person. That's him. That's not me, that's him. He taught me that. The man is absolutely brilliant because he spoke to me in a language that I absolutely understood. My right to swing my arms ends at another's person. And I understood that. I felt that. So yeah, compartmentalization is absolutely where it's at.
No, and Jody, thank you. So she says, I love your openness about healing past traumas. I need to get there. You're an inspiration for me. And thank you.
Acts of service.
I'm not all the way there, and this was actually very hard for me to even talk about before because I would start disassembling on here. But it's getting easier.
Remember that time when our broadcast ended abruptly?
I was done? Yeah.
Like very abruptly? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's you know, I'm still working through it, but I find that if I'm more open about it, it's getting so much easier. It's like letting things out because I've held so much in for, how old am I? 38.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm 38.
Yes.
So for how many years? Like up until like not even this year, I've been kind of letting things out.
So pretty much for 38 years.
Yeah, 38.
Holding things in for 38 years.
You know, 38 years of things that I've seen, had to go through. Wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Right.
However, I want to be able to share that we can actually not feel shame and judgment, and that's where I got stuck. Because I didn't want to feel shame and judgment from other people and saying this is what happened to me. And our therapist actually helped me work through that, and talking about it has helped me
And the biggest job that I think, one of the biggest jobs that our therapist helped me with is because I was in that place where, well, I really want my wife to have a voice. I do. Why she always got to use it against me though? Like she don't say nothing against nobody but me. And our therapist said to us quite simply, and again, when you speak my language, when you speak words that I understand, right? And she said that, well, she said, the thing is, Ian, is that what you've done is you've created a safe environment for her to use her voice. And so, yeah, you're going to be the target of that because she knows that you're safe. And I was like, oh, okay.
We're good.
No, okay, no problem. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, okay. I mean, so I did a good thing. Oh, okay. And that real true story. And once she helped me to understand that, and because I was like, that's not my wife. I'm like, I mean, I don't know who that is. You know, because like when she disassociates, right? When she disassociates, it's very hard because she becomes very dispassionate. And now when I see somebody whom I love dearly and I know loves me dearly, look at me like who are you? Not that who are you look. I mean, she knows who I am. It's just that.
Who do you think you are?
And yeah, you know what? You're not one of the kids. I mean, yeah. Why are you speaking? It was hard. It was hard. I mean, there were times where, you know, we went days and we'd just be two ships passing in the night. You know, we'd pass each other in the kitchen and I'd look and I just keep walking. It was hard, but it was worth it because it was a part of her healing journey. She had to do that. I mean, if I was committed to the idea that I wanted her to live her best possible life and to feel safe, I had to endure that. And I'm still here.
Okay.
No, you know what? I was like, well, I mean, I'm just mad because, you know, I ain't going nowhere. You know, we're married. I'm only doing this once. You know, there was no plan B. So I mean, like what's going on? Like, we gotta gonna figure this out. You ain't sit down. You don't love me tonight. We'll get up tonight. Tomorrow we'll try again tomorrow. There's no plan B. We're figuring this out, and we did. We did, and we continue to.
Yeah.
We continue to just figure it out. Why? Because we just continue to work at it. I mean,
And work on ourselves and then work on each other.
Yeah. Well, no, we don't work on each other. We work on ourselves. And then we work on our relationship.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I guess.
Okay, then
I guess.
Like I work on you.
Yeah.
It's like,
Hey, this is family
No,
programming.
not.
What are you doing?
Wow,
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
so Jody, and exactly when my boys feel free to lash out and express their emotions with me, they feel safe.
And I
And
mean,
that's-
it's tough. It's tough to receive that. I mean,
seen something yesterday.
you'd be like, who you think you talking to?
No, and that's what we said is that I seen this post is like kids. You see our kids in public and they're like these.
Oh, I love this.
They're really good kids, but you know they're at home. They're little a-holes.
They wild. They
They're
wild
wild.
out at home, but they
And-
know that when we in public, yeah.
They gotta behave, but
Right.
when they come home, then it's like a free for all kind of thing. Not free for all, but
No,
they're not.
however,
They're not.
they're not
terribly
bad kids. Well, I mean,
But-
just like you said, Jody,
Emotions.
they lash out sometimes, you know? Like,
Especially, I think for me, it's like lashing out on things that they have no control over, especially within the past lives. So their past lives, so things that
when
are
those issues overlap
Yeah,
into
when-
this life.
yeah.
Yeah.
so it's like things that are going on in the other home that they can't deal with. They come home and it's like a meltdown.
Yeah.
And so we're at that point, we know it's not us, but we're there to help them work
Right.
through it. And I love that piece of it.
And look for the telltale signs. If you're in our situation where the kids were going every second weekend, there's telltale signs of your kids' split family. They don't ever lash out at their dad's house. Sorry to hear that. I mean, yeah, that's yeah.
That's a live life experience.
You're right. It's so interesting because when I'm can I tell that story?
Which one? Which one?
After when we saw them at the hockey arena and they gave them $20 and they were crying, I came home and I was like, "What you crying for?"
Yeah.
So it was just so interesting because Cadence had a game at St. Natal Vicks, right? And he had a hockey game. And the grandparents and the dad had come in to watch him play. And then I was over here, and the kids were saying hello to the granddad and the dads, and I'm watching this and I'm seeing this, and then we went home and we were sitting down to supper, and the kids are all teary eyed, and they all, you know, even Cadence is all, because dad is, and she's just sitting there, stone faced, and she's not saying nothing, and I was like, nah. What you mean? What you mean? I don't see you shed no tears for your mom when she up here, providing the basic necessities of life. I don't see you shed no tears for her sacrifice to keep you. No, don't be ungrateful. What you crying for? Well, because he give you $20, that's worth your tears? I mean, she kept you alive. I don't hear you crying over her, for her sacrifice. I wasn't having it. And I get the emotional response, but I mean, maybe I was out of line, but I wasn't having it. You cry over the side of me because she's here every day. Not just once in a while when it suits her. I wasn't having it. And I'm still not having it. But happiness is a choice. I wasn't having it. No, I stand up in defense of my wife. All day, every day. No. You want to cry? Cry for the sacrifices that she made to keep you alive. Cry over some nonsense, man, because he showed up today. When it was convenient. No. Sorry, baby, go ahead.
That wasn't
I mean, I'm partial to moms. I am. I'm a mama's boy. I'm a mama's boy, man.
And then, no, what it is the injustice.
Yeah,
that's
that
true.
piece.
It's the injustice of
The injustice of it.
So yeah, and so yeah, we just keep going forward. And
I
sometimes
love moms. Yeah.
What do you mean you love moms?
I do. I just love my moms. I do. I love both my moms. One is in heaven and the other one is in Toronto right now, waiting for that laptop, so that we can spend more time with her.
Yeah. So yeah, how does one get to happiness?
Forgiveness.
Yes.
Forgiveness. How do you get to happiness? Forgiveness. Forgiveness. The toughest apology you'll ever have to accept is the one that you never get. And then you have to reach a point where you realize that forgiveness is not about absolving anyone of the responsibility of anything that they did to you. It is about releasing you from the pain, because they might not even know that they've wronged you, and what's worse, they might not care. So forgiveness. How do you get to happiness? Forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about absolving anyone of the responsibility of what they did to hurt you. It's about releasing you from the pain of that hurt. See what Jody says?
Yeah. So my takeaway is that children feel free to express their pain with the parent they feel most comfortable.
That is a fact. Jody says children feel free to express their pain with the parent they feel most comfortable with, the parent they feel most safe with. Like, I'm not going to wild out against my dad if I feel like I'm going to get slapped upside the head.
Not even that. It's not even just to be feeling like they can.
No, I'm saying me.
I know, but
I'm saying me, because I wouldn't do that because I get slapped upside the head. No, that's a true story. I wouldn't do that. And yeah. However, if I felt that it was safer to do that with my mom, which it wasn't, hey, Jamaican parents, right?
cultural differences, yeah.
Spare the rod, spoil the child. Mm-hmm. And this question was asked of me in another broadcast, what I thought that particular verse meant. Spare the rod, spoil the child. If I thought that, especially with my lived life experience and where my philosophy is right now, I think that if you have to strike someone, you failed. You failed in communicating. So what is it? Because I'm a person of faith, obviously. So what is my takeaway on spare the rod, spoil the child? However, my takeaway is this: what if the rod is a euphemism, if you would, or a metaphor for God? Because God is just, in a relationship with God, although it is enriching, it's also accountability, right? Mm-hmm. So it can also be painful. A relationship with God can also be painful, right? So what if the rod is a metaphor for God, and if you spare your child good, godly, righteous upbringing, you'll spoil the child. It's just a thought that I had. I'm not saying that I'm right, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just it's a thought that I had. Jody says that it can be hurtful for us, but big picture, it's empowering for the children, and it's important that our children feel safe. There's just no two ways about that. And I mean, of course, you're going to have that conversation that says that, hey, young man, that's no way to speak to anyone, let alone your mother. Of course, you're going to say something like that and take your power back. Or something along those lines. No? You're not going to say that?
No, you let them express.
You let them vent?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, not me. No. I will. No, you're safe enough to say that. That's fine. However, know that that's not acceptable. No, because that's disrespectful. And my take on it is that, I mean, being upset is not this is my take, and this is what we mean, right? We don't always agree. And it's fine. It's fine. My take is just quite simply that being upset, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being upset. However, if we're to have meaningful discourse, I mean, because you're upset about something, I want to help you reach a resolution. If we're to have meaningful discourse, I mean, let's be respectful to one another. So now you had an emotional outbreak. That's fine. However, let's not make a habit of it. That's not something that I consider to be respectful towards me as your father. I mean, I don't speak to you like that. That's how I would handle that situation. Where were you going?
No, I was allowed to let them vent because it's just having, like you had the other day, that willingness just to scream. It's not. Yeah. It's just that release of energy. Mm-hmm. And then you cry and then you move on. Mm-hmm. And so it's just allowing your children to feel that safety, that they can express whatever sadness, whatever hurt, that they can actually feel it, because if we don't allow them to feel it, they can't move on from it. Yeah,
and Jody says children don't know how to articulate their pain in terms that we would as adults, and it's so interesting. That's a true statement, an excellent statement. What's concerning in that statement is that a great many adults don't know how to recognize and articulate our pain either, especially men. Toronto mans them back in the house while going Toronto mans them. God bless.
Tend to the chicks, so.
And Jody's got to bounce because she's got to tend to the chicks. God bless you, Jody. We appreciate you so much. God bless you. Toronto mans. Screaming at my parents, never possible. Not in a Jamaican household. No, I mean, right? Right? Let me tell you about Jamaican parents real quick. The only thing worse than Jamaican parents was Jamaican step-parents, and I had both. And the psychological warfare, man. Because you'd go out and pick a switch for me to whip your behind with. Right? So now, you go out, and you gotta go get your beating stick. And as a child, what are you reconciling in your mind? Well, you don't. Thank you, Jody. We received that. God bless you. Because you can't come back with nothing too big. Because they fitting to break that off on your behind.
Yeah, we had to choose between which red willow you wanted. You wanted the thin one or the big one.
Nope.
You never pick the thin one. They hurt the most. Go for the bigger red willow.
And if you come back with something too small, well, now they pissed off because they got to go through the trouble of going to get something themselves. So it was tough, man. I mean, you had to come in with something right in the middle. And it said Toronto man to them said I would be getting beaten and it hurts, and my dad says, "Why you crying? You want, you want something to cry about? What you mean? Why am I crying? Because you beating my behind and it hurts." And or you know what my favorite was, son. This is gonna hurt me more than it hurt you. Pretty dang sure that it never did. Oh, Jody says my British grandfather subjected my mom and her siblings to that. Yeah. And I mean, because of my upbringing, it was a part of my cultural education. And so fortunately for me, my lived life experience, I was giving the oldest, the 25-year-old Nathan, I was giving him the strap one time, and I got carried away, and he had a welt across his back, and his grandmother saw this, and she contacted CFS and Anchor, and I went in and I spoke with an indigenous woman, actually, a wonderful caseworker, and the problem is that I didn't see anything wrong with my behavior. I didn't know no different. I didn't know. It's all I knew. I mean, kids act up, give them a beating. It's all I knew, which is not to defend my actions. And she suggested some things to me in that meeting that really made sense, and it changed my life. It changed my life, and I've since learned that you can't discipline when you're angry, and you should never punish, because punishment comes from a place of control. Discipline comes from a place of wanting to correct poor behavior, and either way, you shouldn't try to discipline if you're heated or emotional or angry, because that might lean towards punishment. That's my own lived life experience. That's my own journey. Congratulations, Ben. He hit 315 on the bench today. Grats, dog. That's huge. That's huge. I see my wife out the corner of my eye looking at her watch. I look at the time. We've already been at this for an hour and a half. Final thoughts, my love, on how do you get to happy? How do we get to happy? If happiness is a choice, how do we get to happy? Are you breaking out? Do you think
I think it's like.
Oh, word.
And no, for me, it's like just finding, forgiving those that either hurt you or don't even know they hurt you. Mm-hmm. But also just feeding your own passions.
Yeah.
Feed your passions. Today we have to adapt and overcome and get really creative with what we can and cannot do.
Right.
And I feel like, just feed your passion, whatever that may be. As long as you are kind and you're not hurting anyone.
Not hurting nobody.
Yeah.
Especially children. Toronto man says happiness is all perspective. Everything is relative. And I have a thought on that. If everything is relative, and my thought on that is simply this: if nothing matters, then nothing matters, right? If nothing matters, then nothing matters, right? However, if even the smallest thing matters, then everything matters. Right? And I think that we're in a place in life, in this world, where we pick and choose what matters and what doesn't matter. Like, your opinion matters because you agree with me. Your opinion doesn't because you disagree with me. I kind of feel like everything matters. If even one thing matters, all opinions matter. All lives matter. Just everything matters. I mean, I'm just committed to the idea that, you're free to live your life as you choose to do so. Live your best life. I'm happy for you if you're able to do that, and I encourage you to do so. I encourage you to try to live your best life, because happiness is a choice. And there are a great many people in this world right now that are unhappy. That's a choice. Whatever your situation, whatever your circumstance. I'm not here telling you that I'm right and you're wrong, or that I somehow know better than you. I certainly do not. I'm happy, and I know that that's a choice. We choose to be happy here in the Simpson family home, and we actively feed into our happiness. My dove. You're gonna read tonight?
No, I'm getting it ready for
Oh,
you.
sorry. Thank you, my love.
Yeah.
Again.
I feel like, yeah. No, and I was gonna Jody with that.
Yeah, we gotta address that.
That is really hard to fathom, like that kind of feeling from your child. Unfortunately, yeah.
Can you read that, please, love?
No, I'm not saying
No?
the B word.
Can I read that? Oh, okay. Jody says that I agree. With that said, my middle son once called me a stupid bee. And how difficult to hear, right? And
For me, I just understand it as a way of, like you say, just kind of lashing out, because sometimes they're not being heard and we don't know where they're not being heard from.
right,
And usually that's an attention grabber. It's
Right.
like, something serious is happening.
right,
So take that as a sign, not as a, because we can't take it personal. We can't
Yeah.
personalize what is being said to us, especially when our children are upset or mad, because we know that they're going through something that they just don't know how to, like you said, talk through it, or even vocalize, or even understand what is happening to them.
well said.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
just becoming angry at
Yeah.
the world, but as parents, that's usually a red flag for me. Is like, hey, something is actually going on.
And if I could piggyback that very quickly, lived life experience. Princess Jasmine, our 16-year-old daughter, we never really worry about her. She is the best 16-year-old you'd ever come across. And last summer she did something that was completely out of character, and she had gotten herself into trouble, and it was like, and mom was livid, livid, and I was like, well, my goodness, this is completely out of character. It was my thought process. I mean, I didn't say that to her. I don't speak like that. However, I said to her quite simply, I says, Jasmine, you of all people should know that you never have to scream to be heard. If you have something that you need to say, just come say it. Well, you never have to scream to be heard. Because it occurred to me, and that's grace. That's grace. That wasn't me. That's grace. It occurred to me in that moment that her behavior was so out of character. Clearly, she was trying to say something. And that's grace. That's not me. That's not my lived life experience that I would have enough clarity to, I'd have been like ballistic, like in a past life, I'd been ballistic just like mom. However, grace, right? When you put God first, when you put God into things, he affords us grace, right? No, I want to deal with this because it feeds into everything that we were saying earlier. And Toronto wasn't here at that time, but he said some people are poor in income and happier than those with wealth. And we were saying exactly that just earlier about an hour ago in the conversation, Toronto. Facts. Money does not buy wealth. So what are we doing? What are we doing to feed into our happiness?
No, and she's like, what would you do? Oh, sorry. Were you answering?
No,
Or
I
you
was
want me to
pointing
go?
to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she's like, what would you do if you caught your kid smoking or doing drugs?
I'd kick that ass. No.
No, and it's so funny is that I had an instance where, the red flags
Love
were
you, Jody.
not
God bless
really
you.
red flags were
Red flags.
flag-
Say goodnight
flags.
to Jody.
Good night, Jody.
God
We'll
bless
see you tomorrow.
See you.
And so she actually came home from her dad's, which I just remember, now
remember,
that
yeah.
she came from a
Oh,
home
boy.
from her dad's on a weekend, and she had drugs in her bag.
Yeah.
And that did not go down well. And the thing is, only I could address it from here, but on the other end, I don't know what happened. And it was concerning, and it's so funny. It popped up in my head now because I should have had that information just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. And she came to me. She was just like, she was like, and I'm like, weed? Who? And she told me who, and I actually laughed. I'm like, she ain't smoking no weed. She just holding that for somebody.
And sure enough, she was holding me somewhere. And that was like the worst. Yeah, I still now like bring it up is like getting me all mad and worked up again. And I know that but it's so funny is because when you're a parent yourself, you think about like the things that they do, and then you go, okay, well, what did I do as a teenager? What have I done?
She didn't do nothing.
I was so much of a square. However, like I tried to be bad, and it just
didn't fit.
It didn't fit. Yeah. And so However, I find it as a way of the kids growing.
You can sit down if you want to. Yeah, for sure.
So I find that it's like
100%.
I find that it's like I can't be too hard on them because they have to learn from their mistakes. Because if we don't allow them to make those mistakes, are they going to actually realize what they have done is bad, or that what are the consequences for that? So yeah, I struggle with it, but it takes me a good day or two to get past.
For me, it's the idea that open lines of communication. I'm a big fan of the idea that don't lie to me, because you may find yourself in a situation where I don't lie to me, because I need all the information if I'm to help you properly, because I'm always going to be on your side. Whatever, and these are conversations that are had. Whatever it is, be honest with me, because I need all the information if I'm to help you properly. And it is not for me and the bigger kids. It is not for me to approve of how you live your life. It's not. I mean, they're of an age now, 16, 17. I mean, the 22-year-old. He just lived here for free. He knew, he's great. He's fantastic. They're all. However, for us, it was just, we are very committed to the idea that the kids have autonomy to be actively involved. We insist that they are actively involved in the decision-making processes that affect their lives. And of course, the bigger kids will have more engagement and more leeway and more say, and the younger kids would have less as we see fit. However, we also are very clear that we reserve the right to veto any and all decisions that we feel are made that are not in your best interest. We reserve that right as parents. Outside of that, we allow them to be themselves, as long as that's tempered with good godliness and kindness. That's it. There are red rules. You can have an emotional moment, absolutely. However, know that we need to talk through this, because you're getting emotional. How does this serve us in any way? Let's get to resolution, right? And if you have an outbreak, smoking and doing drugs, it's not for me to approve of how my children live their life. I can only counsel. I choose not to respond to our children with, "Oh, I'm disappointed. That's very disappointed." Sometimes, it's necessary. However, if I have to yell, I feel like I've failed. I do yell. However, I'm getting old. I don't want to yell anymore. I don't want to yell anymore. And I say things to the kids like, "Why do people yell?" Because it works, right? You want somebody's attention, yell. See if you don't get their attention. It works, and it gets you immediate results. That's not the relationship that I want with my kids. Right? I want open, meaningful discourse, honesty, trust. And they're going to do things that upset me. They're going to say things that upset me. That's okay. We can agree to disagree and not hate each other. They're my kids. I love them. They're our kids. We love them. And they love us. We choose. I think that here's something that I heard that I really love. I choose not to judge them at their worst. I choose not to judge, period. Why would I judge you at your worst? If I see you at your worst, then I'm going to judge you based on that. Right? I try to see people at their best. Right? In all things, I try to see people at their best. And that's dangerous at times. However, please.
Just quickly before we close here is, if I don't yell, nothing gets done. And I used to be the get to that point. However, what I've noticed is that when I used to do the timeouts, I used to always just say 5 minutes, which 5 minutes could have been a minute, whatever, just to kind of calm them at that time. But if they continued to go on whatever path they were going on, so if they were playing games, they weren't responding to whatever I was asking of them or they needed to get done, okay, well, no more game for you. And then they're like, oh, why not? Well, another, 5 days. I'm just throwing out
just a number,
numbers.
yeah.
It's just a number, but I would just add on until eventually when they would get the ideas like, okay, well, I'll just do it because I'm not going to add on more time. So.
For instance, baby Blue was emotional the other morning, and I walked in, and she hit me with the eyes and a flutter and a twitter, and I was like, okay, well, that's no video games, no art for today, and want to keep going. And she had nothing more to say after that. I mean, this is a unique situation for us because our kids are just they are, they make it easy. They do. However, I truly believe that all kids have that potential. All kids want to be helpful around the home. I believe that. All kids, when they see you doing something, they want to be helpful. They want to get in there and help you. They do. Especially young kids. And, we, as parents, we just need to really maybe just help them get there, And Carla, I get what you're saying because I used to be that parent where if I don't yell, nothing gets done. And it was true. Because if that was my conviction of belief, and that was my conviction of belief, it was true. Because that was my conviction of belief, right? However, I would suggest that, as parents, it's okay to take our power back. As parents, it's okay to take our power back. Our children don't have to like us. I don't want to be liked by my children. I want to be respected. True story. And because I'm good, godly, and kind, I would never take advantage of my children. And I only want the best for them. However, as a man, I still want to be respected.
Sorry. Carla, don't get me wrong, Marcus arguments over there. No, I mean, that's what we were
Carla
saying.
Hammer.
It's like,
yeah, right?
No, we're
right?
totally with you, but
Right?
it's like, this
Right?
yeah.
Them kids, right? Sometimes, right?
It's like, what were you thinking?
Like
I'm
me and the
like,
big 6'8" guy. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! Me and him have had some epic battles. Epic. Me and the big. Why do we have these epic battles? Because we're exactly alike.
Mm-hmm.
True story. But we got but then he Jedi mind tricked me. He Jedi mind tricked us. He Jedi mind tricked us. Got on him back. How long ago was this? Got on him a little bit about and he let us know in certain terms that he was grown, and that he was gonna be responsible for making more decisions as they pertain to his life. What he did, he was upset. He got his sister to come tell us that he was moving out, and I broke. I was like. The big one, Wheezy. The big one. Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you. And I was like, I was stuttering. Let's not be drastic. I mean, we can talk about this, can't we? It was very painful to me that he thought that, and that was him screaming. And wanted to be heard, and now he's there. That was almost half a year ago, and he's still here. Okay, so we got to wrap. It's been an hour and 45 minutes. Wow, what a great conversation tonight. Thank you guys so much. God bless you. Wow, what a great conversation tonight. Thank you, ladies. TikTok, Instagram. Thank you. So in closing, Romans 15:13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. And with that,